Asian Network.
Affan Waheed, such a pleasure to have you here.
Pleasure for having me over.
Your fans have been literally harassing me on social media, on Instagram, on Twitter. They knew you were in London. They knew that I'd reached out to you as well. And after that, it just went mad. Are you ever surprised by the level of love you get from your followers, your fans?
It's overwhelming. Honestly, it's overwhelming. It brings a surge of pride also, but I try to be as humble as I possibly can. I really don't want to walk around with falsehoods and arrogance, and that's a tough task. Because when I go out in public and people mob me and at times manhandle, so that's a tough thing to handle.
What's really interesting is that you are actually quite a reserved, quiet, some would say shy
Very shy, yeah.
man, and yet on screen you play such a wide, vast range of characters. Do some people get surprised by how different you are in reality?
Yeah, they do. I get surprised also when I see my work. Once the camera is on, I'm a different person altogether. Otherwise, I'm not an exhibitionist by nature. I am not cut out for media. I don't know what am I doing here, but I think that was nature's way of changing my personality because I've never had a healthy relationship with the way I am, right? So I had certain psychic structures within me that needed to be broken down. So I believe nature is helping me with that, and I'm just taking it gracefully. At least I'm trying to take it gracefully, yeah.
So what do you mean then when you say that you struggle to face yourself? What do you mean by that?
Honestly speaking, people say that you have to be a narcissist when you're in media. Well, I'm not. Maybe I'm a different sort of a narcissist, because when I say I don't have a healthy relationship with myself, I never want to see myself on camera. Even to date, when I see myself and I think, oh man, what am I doing in media? I should just quit acting right away. So probably these things that I'm trying to deal with gracefully these days, and I tell myself, no, okay, people appreciate me, they like me, I'm okay, so let's just go with the flow.
It feels like even when I'm asking you these questions, it feels like there's still a certain level of reservation.
Oh yeah, there is. I really don't want to spill all my beans, yeah. You're very smart, you got it, yeah.
What is it that scares you maybe, or not scares you maybe, but what is it that concerns you about letting people into your world?
Haroon, actually the thing is that I have always had this fear of judgment.
Right.
Yeah. So when you come with this baggage, it's very daunting to be on camera and say things that you really want to. Also, social media is getting a little hyper these days. So I really don't want to face the backlash. So I try to behave myself and be reserved as much as I possibly can.
So how does a man who is concerned about judgment, who is worried about facing himself, end up in a career in acting?
That's what I'm saying. It was quite an accident waiting to happen. I mean, I'm definitely not cut out for media, that I know, but now I love my job. Initially, I was media averted. I did not like it, and I was like, I've done graduation in painting from NCA. So I was like, what am I doing in this field after studying so hard? I could have just done any job after my graduation. But then I ended up in acting. It was quite an accident. I was offered this soap opera, Tere Pehlu Mein, the most controversial one. People ask, were you part of that play? You started off in 2006? I was like, no, I did not. I was studying in 2006. So yeah, it was quite an accident, and now I must say it was quite a happy and pleasant accident.
Okay, you've mentioned Tere Pehlu Mein now, so we have to talk about Tere Pehlu Mein.
You wanted to talk about it, so I mentioned it.
Have to
I
talk
made your
about
job
it.
easier for
You
you.
did, you did. But you know, like looking at this script you were getting every day, thinking, what the hell is this?
I know, I had just started off, so I had no idea at that point of time what acting is or what a quality script or quality drama is. It was just an accident, as I told you, and I wanted to experiment. I spoke to my parents when I was offered that play. So my parents were quite conducive with the idea of me being an actor, and my father was like, just give it a try. If it doesn't work, you can always, come back. You have a degree and stuff. But once I started, I was flooded with offers, so yeah.
Well, the thing is, your first acting gig was Tere Pehlu Mein, which was a massive success when it was on TV, but now people look back at it as being a little bit cringeworthy. But your second acting gig, which was Dastan, is considered one of the greats.
I know. It was a guest appearance. It was offered to me, and I wasn't really sure, but then, even the stalwarts of the field were playing guest appearances in the play. So I was like, might as well, let's just give it a try. I'm not really sure if I want to continue with this acting field or not. So I gave it a try and it worked.
So how does the Affan Waheed today look back at that guy in 2010, 2011, at the start of his journey, and how would you summarize what the past decade's been like?
You know, honestly, I have no recollection of how it all happened. It was just part of the journey. I kept struggling with myself, with my work, with looking good. That's my problem too. I really don't want to be decked up all the time. Like this interview, I was in two minds if I should go or not, because I'm on a vacation and I really want to dress up and stuff like that. So it has been tough that way. If I look back, I remember those were struggling times. I was media averted, as I mentioned earlier. I really wanted to run away and I was depressed, and then I was like, no, let's just give it a try. And then I started getting good offers from Karachi, and that's how my media career changed. My first project which gave me immense recognition was Kafir with Humayun Saeed and Aisha Khan. So I've been lucky enough to bag such projects with the stalwarts of the field who taught me a lot, and that's exactly why I'm here today. You know,
The reason why
they all contributed to my well-being and to my success as an actor, I must say.
You've said that you don't feel like this came to you overnight. This fame that you feel like you have now, or this recognition, this love that you have today, hasn't happened overnight. You're not a, overnight success
star.
story,
Yeah.
But you also say there's a lot of people approaching you now saying, are you a newcomer? Have you been in anything before Do Bol? So how do those two things kind of contradict each other when you've been working so hard, so honestly, earnestly for almost a decade now, and yet there's people who are saying, hey, are you a newcomer?
Okay, Haroon, I think in all fairness and honesty, the trappings of superstardom mean nothing to me. So I take it in a stride. I feel happy about the fact that, everyone's watching my play now. So it's okay if they haven't seen me like a couple of years back and they've seen me now. I mean, it's totally fine with me, honestly. It's part of the journey. I'm growing. My journey has been consistent, and I'm very grateful to God for that.
I do want to talk about the success of Do Bol, because this drama has been an absolute rage. It's
Phenomenal
been an
success.
a massive success.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's easy to say that it will be down on record as one of the most successful, if not the most successful drama.
One of the most successful, yeah.
Absolutely, and for ARY as well, a massive success as well. Tell me about, firstly, your decision to do Do Bol. What was the idea that you were presented with? Did you have any apprehensions about doing the drama?
I had no apprehensions, to be honest. I was given the script and I went through it. I liked the script. It was different. It was not exactly different, but it was okay. I've been doing projects on social causes, and they happen to be quite strenuous at times. When you're playing an aid victim, when you're playing
Which
a
you
father,
did in Beddardi, right?
yeah, when you're playing a father with the children suffering from Down syndrome. So when it was offered to me, I was like, wow, it's a nice breezer, so romantic play. Romance, I believe, never fails with the audience. So I read the script, I liked the knitting, the dialogue. Sarwar Nazir is my favorite writer, and Wajahat Hussain, I and Wajahat go back a long way, even when I wasn't an actor, so he's from Lahore too. So I was like, let's just give it a try, but I had no idea that it would be a smashing hit.
How does it feel having something that is so loved by so many people? Does it feel like yours? Do you feel like you still own Do Bol? Because I speak to a lot of actors, and when they have this level of success, for example, when I spoke to Myra Khan after Humsafar, she was like, I don't think it's mine anymore. I've just had to just hand it out to the audience. It's theirs now.
True. But I'll be honest, I don't know if I'll be able to explain that or not, but the feeling and the experience is quite daunting. I don't know, it's quite overbearing at some level.
In what sense?
Maybe I think that maintaining that success would be difficult. People have so many expectations from me now. They've started watching my old plays, and the views on my old plays have suddenly risen. So that's crazy, and I don't know how to deal with that. I'm still struggling. When people tell me that they've seen Do Bol and they like my work, and they tell me that I'm a star or something, and this all sounds so alien to me. I don't know how to react to that, but I'm just grateful to God. That does not mean that I'm not grateful. I'm very happy about my success. I'm very grateful to God. That's all I have to offer.
Affan, when you do a drama like Do Bol and it has this level of success, what doors does that open for you? Especially when you've been an active member of this industry for so many years already.
That's a very interesting question. I'm getting a lot of calls for events, for magazine covers, for commercials, for interviews. So yeah, again, I would say it's very intimidating.
And is that a noticeable change pre and post Do Bol? Is that something that
Definitely,
is tangible
yes.
and you can?
Oh yes,
you
yes,
can
definitely,
feel?
yes, definitely, yes.
Isn't that worrying though, that it takes for such a big success for an actor's talent to be recognised on such a wide level? I mean, like we've discussed, you've been part of so many dramas and many of them have been very successful as well. But it takes for something that is so radically loved and appreciated for that kind of appreciation to pour in.
Unfortunately, yes. Unfortunately, yes. Yeah.
How can that change though? Or is that something that
I
needs
don't
to
think that's
change?
going to change.
Oh really?
Yeah, yeah.
Why is that? Why do you think that that's the way the industry reacts? For example, there are actors in India, for example, who don't have many hit films, but they're still called to do interviews because people respect their craft. I can give you examples, whether that be like a Richa Chadda or a Swara Bhaskar or let's even say Rajkumar Rao, for example. He didn't have loads of hits instantly, but there was people who still appreciated his craft.
I think despite so many years of media in Pakistan, our media is still in its teething stage. We need to institutionalize it, which we haven't as yet. I think that's what I have to say on that.
Is that part of your reluctance to keep a low profile?
Oh yes, definitely yes. I'm still not responding to people for magazine covers and commercials and all that, and people wouldn't believe, but yes. The thing is that our industry is very small, right? So we have just a couple of names who are successful and just a couple of names who are new. So the industry is not that huge. So I think this will go on for some time like this only. And then maybe when our industry flourishes even more, there are bright chances of it changing, but I don't see this within sight for some time at least. I think this will go, no matter what changes we try to bring, this will continue like this for some time.
And in the years on your journey to the top, and I think it's fair to say that you're at the top of your game right now, especially after Do Bol, in that journey, the people who didn't support you or the people who didn't answer your calls, who didn't cast you, have their attitudes changed towards you since Do Bol?
To be honest, there was no one who was rude to me. Number one, I don't reach out to people, I don't go out and meet them, I don't suck up to people. So my lifestyle has always been the same throughout. So yeah, it's still the same. People call me for work, yeah. They used to call me for work, they still call me for work, and I respond them, whenever I possibly can.
How does one keep this kind of zen attitude in an industry that is so competitive? There are new actors popping up in the Pakistani entertainment industry on a weekly basis. There's a very competitive market at the moment. So how do you keep this attitude?
I think I'm wired like that. I wouldn't say that I had to put in an extra effort to get there. I'm wired like that. It doesn't really make any. As I mentioned earlier, the trappings of superstardom mean nothing to me. I think that's the thing which keeps me humble and yeah. I don't want to be part of the rat race. I always say that I'm not a media boy. I'm a boy in media. I'm here to work, and that's about it.
I just watched the first episode of Bhul, which is your drama that's currently airing on ARY as well. There's quite a big ensemble cast in that drama as well. Very different character.
Very different character, yeah, from young to old.
How do you balance your roles? Is there a method to what you select? And also, I'm guessing that you signed on Bhul and started shooting it before the success of
Yeah,
Do
much
Bol.
before that. I was shooting for I had just started shooting for Do Bol when Bhul happened. So yeah.
Does it change your perspective at all when you deliver a hit drama like Do Bol? Do you worry about, will the next one be able to match its success?
That's what I'm going through these days. I am actually going through that these days. I'm not really sure which project to choose and which not to choose, and I'm very confused. I'm always in two minds when I'm getting offers. I have no idea how to sign one, and it's very difficult.
Is that the burden that comes with success?
I think it does, yeah. Success is very slippery. It's very slippery.
But Affan, is that hard when you're in an industry which isn't working in the same way? For example, I've met actors like yourself who put a lot of emphasis on their craft. A lot of things that you're saying remind me of Zahid Ahmed in a sense. I've heard him.
He's a great actor. I'm just working with him these days. Yeah, I'm doing a project
the way
with
you're
him.
talking about your process reminds me a lot of how he's also spoken. There's other actors, Imran Ashraf. There's a lot of guys who are working in the same approach as you. But at the same time, there's a lot of actors who are there for the stardom, who are there for the celebrity status, for the followers on Instagram. How do you maintain focus on your craft when all those other things are as important, aren't they, today in being relevant in Pakistan?
Haroon, it's very difficult, I'll be honest. You know, when you open Instagram, you see people doing stuff left, right and center, frequenting events and, you know, doing magazine covers. And when you just want to be an actor, an honest actor, it's actually very difficult. But then I think this is what you learn over the period of time, because I've seen that, you know, there's no amount of power or money on this earth that can satisfy you. So I'm just trying to tell myself that you know, whatever I have on my plate right now is probably enough for me, and that is what I can deal with right now. Maybe if I get more, I'll collapse under it. Probably I'll crack under the strain. So I'm just trying to be satiated in whatever I have right now.
That balance that you have now with the way you're talking, has that come through experience? Has that come through seeing a darker side to fame and entertainment?
Yeah, it has come through a lot of struggle, you know, a lot of struggle. It was very depressing, and it still is at, you know, certain levels. But then, you know, if I look at my pattern, how I grew and my success has been consistent, so that gives me a lot of hope, and I say, if I can get here, I'll get beyond this also.
What are the things about the industry that you hope will change, or that you have seen change over the years?
Unfortunately, Haroon, I think, you know, punctuality is not a virtue in our field, it's a vice. And I want people in our industry to value and respect time. That's mandatory. If you want to get somewhere, you know, we never start on time. There's so many factors involved. This is something that's my pet peeve, you know. I am very punctual. I'm unapologetically punctual. So, and I haven't been able to change myself over the span of 9-10 years, and I'm still the same. And I hope that, you know, people in our industry get to learn the value of time.
Do you think that will improve the overall professionalism in the industry?
I think that will improve a lot of things, I'll be honest, because time is very important, and we all know that. That's the only thing that we have been given, time. So we have to respect that, we have to value time, which we don't.
So Bol is your drama that's on TV right now. What else are you working on? And can you tell us anything more about where Bol is headed? I mean, at the end of the first episode, the female character runs away with you. You guys have run away.
Yeah, I'll be an oldie after 8 episodes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How old?
48, 49.
So there's going to be a jump in the narrative.
I'm 22, 23 right now in Bol.
Yeah.
So I had to clean shave. That's exactly why I had to.
Yeah, you look very young.
Thank you so much. It's very heartening to know that I could look young at this age. Yeah.
But there's going to be a jump in the narrative. You're going to get older after 8 episodes. Yeah. So what is the overall theme then of this story? Because when you watch the first episode of any drama, you pick up here and there where the story's headed. But what is the reason that there's going to be a jump in the narrative? Can you tell us?
Because I'll go abroad, and then, you know, my daughter will be born. Aisha, Saboor Ali is playing that. So when I come back, I am face to face with my daughter, and she refuses to accept me as her father. And that is where my tragedy and my misery begin from.
Finally then, after Bol, what else next? Have you signed on more drama projects?
Yeah. I'm doing this project with Hira Mani again, which is called Galati for ARY Digital again. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. That's again a great project. I hope it turns out to be a huge success again. And see, this is what happens with success. You want every project to be a massive hit, which is practically not possible.
Yeah, are you going to be okay if the next one isn't as successful as Do Bol? Have you thought about that?
Yeah, I have. And it raises hairs on my body.
Well, hopefully it will be just as successful.
Yeah, then I'm doing this project in which I'm playing an antagonist for the very first time, like a full-fledged psychopath, you know, with Sanam Jung and Zahid Ahmed. The project is called Khata, but that's the working title. That's going to air on Hum in July, hopefully, yeah.
You mentioned you're doing another drama with Hira Mani there. When you have a successful partnership on screen with an actress, and you know the romance, the chemistry is what was most loved about Do Bol, as we know. Is it hard to know whether you're being offered something genuinely right for the two of you?
It's very hard actually. I and Hira were flooded with offers, with projects together, but we had to turn down almost every project because they were not good enough. But Galati, this one that I just told you about, that I'm doing with Hira, is an amazing project and I'm very hopeful about it. Let's see.
Asian Network.